Managing multiple projects. Smart project management prevents burnout. Thank you for listening. Now, let's dive into managing multiple projects. You've authored the book on this topic, so could you share an unexpected, counterintuitive, or particularly intriguing insight you've discovered about handling multiple projects? One of the surprising findings from my research was through a survey conducted for the book. Most people are managing between 2 to 5 projects, which may not seem overwhelming, but the constant task switching adds significant overhead. This workload is a primary cause of burnout. Ineffective management of this workload makes juggling multiple tasks quite challenging. What struck me most from the survey were the verbatim comments reflecting widespread dissatisfaction. It was disheartening to see how many people are unhappy at work despite their desire to perform well. This highlights a critical need for change in our work environments, as happiness at work is crucial given how much time we spend there. Elizabeth, thank you for sharing that. The emotional connection to feelings of overwhelm, burnout, and sadness is profound. Can you share some specific verbatim comments that have stuck with you and illustrate what we might escape from with better project management? Certainly. One comment from a woman named Kimberly stood out. "I work in a fast-paced project management environment that expects sit-down service." This resonates with many who strive for quality in their work but are pressured by tight deadlines and quick turnarounds, forcing them to use shortcuts just to keep up. We need to focus more on the people and work that truly matter. Know your schedule's limits. Establishing boundaries is crucial because when tasks are assigned, there's often an assumption that we have the capacity to handle them. As conscientious employees, we might instinctively agree to take on extra work, aiming to be helpful and accommodating. However, it's essential to mentally set boundaries and communicate effectively about our workload. Instead of immediately accepting additional tasks, we can say, "I can take this on, but it will require me to reprioritize other duties. I can have it completed by Friday, will that work?" This approach protects our time and mental health, preventing the scenario where we overextend ourselves and end up working late into the night. Understanding our limitations and planning our schedules realistically helps us manage our commitments better. A strategy that has proven beneficial for me is the 2-week look ahead. Every week, I review the upcoming fortnight with my team, identifying any holidays, major meetings, or deadlines. This proactive planning helps us anticipate and prepare for potential surprises, building resilience into our schedules. Additionally, it allows me to foresee periods of high workload and plan accordingly. For instance, if I know a busy week is approaching, I can ensure I have meals prepped, childcare arranged, and avoid scheduling late-night events. By looking at work holistically and considering its impact on my personal life, I can better prepare myself to handle the demands effectively. Gauge your entire workload. And it appears that some of your insights have been incorporated into your book, Managing Multiple Projects. Could you summarize the main thesis or big idea of your book for us? Elizabeth, sure. I've developed a 5-part model designed to help individuals organize their work more effectively and juggle multiple responsibilities successfully. Host, that sounds intriguing. Can you share a case study or an inspiring example of someone who has significantly improved their project management skills by applying your model? Elizabeth, absolutely. I'll start with my own experience and then share some stories from others. The most impactful step for me was the first one, identifying my personal portfolio. This involves taking a comprehensive inventory of all my responsibilities. At one point, I was juggling 3 or 4 projects, mentoring colleagues, organizing events, and standing in for my manager at various meetings. These additional tasks often slipped through the cracks because they weren't on my formal project schedule. Once I had a clear view of all my commitments, I was astonished by the actual hours required each week. This clarity allowed me to have productive discussions with my manager and better plan my time. I found that this realization is a common breakthrough for many others I've taught. Understanding the full scope of our responsibilities, including smaller, often overlooked tasks like timesheets and finance reports, helps us better manage our main projects. Host, let's delve into your 5 key concepts, each conveniently starting with 8P, portfolio, plan, people, productivity, and positioning. Could you briefly define each concept and provide a top tip and a common pitfall for each? Elizabeth, of course. Starting with portfolio, It's about gaining full visibility of all current responsibilities and tasks. My top tip is to spend an hour reviewing your notes, digital or physical, and list everything you're working on. Estimate the time required for each task, categorizing them as big, medium, or small. The biggest mistake is keeping this information to yourself. Instead, use it to engage in discussions with your manager and team to prioritize tasks that align with organizational goals. Manage dependencies. The planning phase involves organizing your schedule and determining when you'll be available to work on various tasks. Start by listing all your current projects and identifying their key milestones, such as launch dates or major meetings. Plot these milestones on a calendar to visualize overlaps and potential conflicts. For example, if projects 1 and 4 have similar timelines, you might find opportunities to consolidate tasks or streamline processes to avoid duplication of effort. Collaboration is crucial in this step. Don't try to manage everything on your own. Engaging with your team can provide fresh perspectives on project schedules and priorities. Additionally, understanding project dependencies is essential. By mapping out how your projects interact with each other and with other team members' tasks, you can create a clear matrix that highlights these relationships. This not only helps you see how delays in one area might affect others but also facilitates communication with your team about scheduling needs and expectations. For instance, Robert discovered that documenting these dependencies in a matrix allowed him to effectively communicate the impact of delays and coordinate better with his department. Although he used a simple spreadsheet for this task, the visual aid was invaluable for understanding and managing project interactions. Combine meetings and communication. The people aspect of the model focuses on effective collaboration and optimizing the use of others' time. To enhance efficiency, consider consolidating meetings when possible. For instance, I once attended a meeting with my project sponsor, prepared to discuss a single project. However, my sponsor, who was also managing another project, had questions about that second project as well. Unfortunately, I wasn't prepared for this, leading to an unproductive discussion. This experience highlighted the importance of recognizing that others are juggling multiple responsibilities too. To streamline communication and support better time management, aim to address multiple topics in a single interaction rather than scheduling separate meetings for each issue. This approach not only improves your efficiency but also helps others manage their time more effectively. Adopt simple tools and templates. Productivity, the fourth P, centers on managing your time effectively and choosing the right tools and techniques that suit your personal workflow. It's important to avoid getting sidetracked by the latest tools or methods favored by others, as everyone has their own optimal way of working. Instead, focus on discovering what works best for you and applying it to your routine. The final P, positioning, is about setting yourself up for success by optimizing your work environment. This involves creating checklists, templates, and processes that streamline your tasks. Consider what you do regularly and whether having a structured checklist or instruction could make those tasks easier to complete, whether you're doing them yourself or delegating them. Over time, I found that while I once could easily remember every step in a process, now it's more challenging. Having written guidelines and templates in place helps prevent forgetting important steps and saves time in the long run. Keep a 20% scheduling buffer. Let's dive into a few follow-up questions related to the 5 petaseconds. From my experience, I've noticed that humans often struggle with accurately estimating how long tasks will take. This challenge is compounded in knowledge work, where we're frequently dealing with new tasks or changes we haven't encountered before. Often, we lack historical data to guide us because organizations might not record project details in a usable way. Additionally, optimism bias plays a significant role. People often underestimate the time needed, forgetting to account for interruptions like phone calls, emails, and breaks. To address these issues, my advice is to realistically assess how many hours you have available each day. It's useful to allocate only 80% of your time for tasks, reserving the remaining 20% for unexpected activities, team meetings, and other job-related interruptions. Moreover, since we often juggle multiple projects, effective time management becomes crucial. Time blocking, designating specific hours for particular tasks, can enhance focus and productivity. It's also beneficial to discuss with colleagues their productivity strategies, how they organize their time, and any upcoming absences that might impact your project. Regarding estimating and contingency, adding a buffer is essential. If you're unsure about the time required, it's prudent to add more contingency. Conversely, if you have prior experience with similar tasks and are confident in your estimates, a smaller buffer might suffice. The key is to balance between accuracy and flexibility, ensuring that you accommodate uncertainties without overloading your schedule. Explain the why, but don't dictate deadlines. When you're leading a project but lack formal authority over the team members responsible for the work, you might find it challenging to motivate them and ensure they meet their commitments. A key strategy is to engage team members by explaining the significance of their contributions. People are more motivated when they understand the purpose behind their tasks, rather than just following orders. Projects often aim to achieve a positive outcome for the organization, so linking their work to this broader vision can be a powerful motivator. Additionally, giving team members the autonomy to set their own deadlines can improve their commitment. Instead of imposing a deadline, you can ask them how much time they believe is needed to complete the task, considering all the factors involved. This approach not only fosters a sense of ownership but also ensures that deadlines are realistic and manageable. Too often, project plans are created without input from those who will execute the tasks, leading to unrealistic deadlines and subsequent delays. By incorporating the team's expertise into the planning process, you create a more achievable and collaborative project timeline. Flex using the iron triangle. The project management triangle, also known as the iron triangle, illustrates the delicate balance between time, cost, and quality. This concept is crucial when discussing project constraints with stakeholders, colleagues, and project sponsors. Essentially, you can set clear expectations by explaining that a project can meet certain quality standards within a specific budget and timeframe. If stakeholders request faster delivery, a higher budget, or reduced costs, adjustments will be necessary. For instance, to expedite the project, additional resources might be required, potentially increasing the cost while maintaining quality. Conversely, if cost reduction is prioritized, it may impact the project's quality or extend the timeline due to the use of less expensive resources. The key is to understand which aspect, time, cost, or quality, is most important to your stakeholders. For example, in my experience working in healthcare, the priority was often quality, even if it meant extending the deadline. Some stakeholders may prioritize a tight deadline, budget constraints, or specific quality criteria, such as sustainability or customer satisfaction. Recognizing these priorities helps in making informed decisions to balance the triangle effectively and achieve the desired outcomes.